Hi everyone and welcome back to Project Peace. So, while we take in our space elevator, right, and all of our beautiful starter factory with the modular frames add-on, right, let's talk about today's plan for a little bit. So, we definitely want to up our coal power production at some point, right? But we want steel for that, and steel will be extremely helpful, right? It will allow us to get to Mark III logistics, and also we will be able to produce new and exciting things. Alrighty, so we are going to start off with the steel stage 1. For that we need to unlock basic steel production, which I have already prepared, right? There we go. I also went out of my way to gather another hard drive. This will come in handy very soon, where we wanna, or as soon as we can, produce encased industrial beams. It is more of a future-proofing thing to get an alternate recipe for the encased industrial beams. So we will base our steel stage 2 production around the base recipes. And I think that's a-okay, right? So that's cool, and then we do have a couple of tickets. Now this is for our coal power plant in the future, right? Because I do want to get the clean pipelines, at least the Mark 1s, right? And look, we also now have access to wall power outlets Mark 2 if we so choose. We might come back to this at some point. Good. Alrighty, I think that's pretty much all I actually want for now, and also all that I can afford. Which, that's just how it goes sometimes, and yeah, wow, the windows will be in the near future as well. So, the structural frame set is what I want. We have the glass frame foundations in there, however this will cost us 10 tickets, so I guess what we can do is also get the pipeline floor holes, right? And then we just need to make sure we get to these tickets at some point. Go, can put that aside, save it a little bit. Good stuff. And yeah, one of the other goals is going to be the blueprinter. That is definitely something that I would like to get done, right? It will make everything else easier in the future for us, I think. Oh yeah, I also labeled this as a sync input. And here we have the leaves, wood, and mycelia labeled as well, right? I just figured it would be cool to have that. And there we go, that's pretty much all we need. Cool! We are probably going to need a couple of these, yeah, because we need to use Mark II belts. I'm not sure if I need more power slugs. I will gather everything up and meet you over where we want to place our steel production. Alrighty, as you can see, we are quite near our base. If you take a look at the map, right, this is where our hub is and our space elevator, and then we just went northeast basically, in a diagonal line, right, over these couple of hills here. Because we do have 3 coal nodes here, right? And if you take a look at those, there is a normal one just here, and another normal one, and actually a third normal one, which is quite amazing. And yeah, you can see a big slab here. We can't deal with this right now, that's okay. And we have a pure iron node down here, as well as some hawks that we can take care of. There we go. Let's get that process started. No, there we go. Just to make sure, yep, this is pure, perfect. And yeah, I just had to decide where I want to build this roughly, right? There is no deeper thought process behind this. It's pretty temporary, and we might tear it all down, right? And that's fine, right? So how do I want to do this? Maybe like so. And that's the 120 iron ore that we need. Then we combine 2 of our normal coal nodes, right, into 120 coal per minute as well. that gives us all the resources that we need. So, let's start setting up our foundries. Maybe over here is fine, right? Steel ingot, as you can see, normally they will need 45 per minute. To produce 45 per minute, we will clock them down to 40 per minute, right? Just so we have an easier time of splitting everything up. And then you have the usual shenanigans of just making this, take the middle one actually. Yeah, maybe just like so, right? That looks good. Connect everything in. Awesome. Let's grab ourselves Mark II belt to bring over our iron and our coal, like so. And now let's worry about the splitting of these things. So we are going to have 120 of our steel ingots, right? We need 90 of those to go into a steel beams production and 30 of those to go into our pipes. So we can do this in two different ways basically. We can just take one of the outputs, right? And split the 45 3 times, so we get 15 each, right? And then we basically just merge it. Well, we are going to merge 2 of the sides, right? Like so. That gives us our 30. And then we take the other 15. Not 15, wait. Did I do this correctly? Hang on a minute. I'm only producing 40, wait. Alrighty, I have prepared the power poles. Cool, so now we need to think about how we are going to split everything up, right? We need 30 of the ingots to go into one steel pipe constructor and then 90 of the ingots to go into steel beams. Now we are producing 40 in each one, right? So that makes it a little bit annoying. However, splitting 120 into fourths is actually quite easy, right? So in this case, we are just going to bring all of these guys together, right? Oh, whoops, there was a... That's not meant to be there. And now we split it in half, right? Then we have 60-60, and we have another one that we need to split in half, maybe in front of it. Let's see if we can do this in a way that makes sense, right? So 120 come into here, like so. So we have 60 and 60, right? So let's grab ourselves a merger over here and one over there. Do we need that actually? No, we don't need this one. Okay. There we go. So 60, 60. And then we take 30 to add in for 90. And this line is just 30 on its own, right? And that solves the whole merging and splitting, not issue, but like challenge that we have, right? Now, as for the steel beams, you can see you need 60. We are providing, however, 90 per minute, right? So if you set this to 75%, you can see it now uses 45. And if you have 2 of them, we just turn this around as well. Now these 2 will consume the 90, and we can just just use a splitter, right? And then we have this load balanced, and we can just bring in our 90 line like so. And on this side we are going to have our steel pipes, which will use up the last 30. That's a little bit too far away, I guess. The last 30 of our ingots, like so. Okay. And for now we are... Oh, yeah, let's merge these two up, right? There we go. For now, we are just going to collect them in a container, and if they fill up, that's how it is, right? We are not installing an awesome sink here yet. We don't really need it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, right? It's pretty simple. There we go. Let's have a quick glance. As you can see, this is working as intended, right? It's getting nighttime, so it's difficult to see. But yeah, we have a 90 belt and a 30 belt out of our 120 that we produce. I really like the foundries, they look really cool. As you can see, these now start production. Our first couple of steel beams are coming in. These will produce 22.5 per minute, and the pipes we will just have a solid 20 per minute. Which is cool, right? And we can just leave this running in the background, collect up the steel that we need to unlock our next couple milestones, and that way we will be ready to go into steel stage 2 and also into our coal power plant, because we really want and need the Mark III belts for that. There we go, there's our first couple of pipes as well. Awesome! Okay, so I have to amass a little bit of the steel, of course, and we can cross off steel stage 1 for now, so let's focus on the blueprinter and Mark III logistics, and I will meet you when I'm ready for those. Alrighty guys, we are unlocking our milestones, very very nice. Mark III logistics, acquired, awesome, and I added in a little walkway here to get over to our modular frames production, and also look, we have our blueprinter and we also have some towers to stand upon, which is quite nice. Very very nice. And yeah, now finally Mark III belts and lifts unlocked. That is incredibly useful, right? Because as I said, it will allow us to expand our steel production, it allows us to expand our coal power plant, and also just like it really opens up the possibilities for us, which is absolutely amazing. So, I wanted to get one of the rather brutal blueprints out of the way, one that will help us immensely. Now, I want to preface this with this is not my design, right? I have seen this in a video quite some time ago, and I honestly struggle to remember who put it out. I'm going to do my best to search it, right? If you want to have that to look at. And hopefully in the next cut I will be able to just at least provide you with them. Actually, do you know what? Let's just search it. 1 second, please. Alright, I found it. It is in fact Total Eclipse. He posted this and it is such an amazing video, right? He will walk you through the whole process of building this, and I think this one really has changed the way that I set this blueprint up, right? In the past I was always just trying to do something, but the way he does it is just so much better. Like, there's no doubt about that in my mind. So, hang on. Yeah. This is correct, right? Yeah. There we go. And yeah, he will basically walk you through all of this. So, if you really want a tutorial, I will link you the video down in the description below, right? So you can take a look at it. There we go. This, by the way, is one of the reasons why we desperately needed our Mark III belts, because they go into the connections here. Hopefully I do have enough. beams on me? I do think we will. And then, yep, that looks good. Now we can set up these lifts. This is sometimes happening, it's very weird. Where these lifts are just completely mental. I don't know why. But yeah, basically lift those up too high. These are just regular placement, right? And all we have to do now is make sure we have those all set up, of course, and then we place the splitters at the correct height. There are definitely different techniques. So the one we used in the past, you would just stack these on top of one another, right? And then delete all the ones you don't need. And that absolutely works, especially if you delete the wrong one. That is very smart, isn't it? There we go. But that's how we used to do it, right? Just stack them up top, and it is quite quick, not gonna lie. You can also just lock it in place, press page up twice, and then place the next one up top. Right, both techniques work. So it's pretty much just your personal preference matters. Now then, cannot forget to come up here, right? And now we are just going to take these, and if you are in straight mode, you need to move it like that. You can't do this way, right? You have to do it that way. If that makes any sense. The straight mode just doesn't want to go from splitter to this lift. However, if you take the lift first, you can actually belt it over like so, which works out in the end, right? Oh boy! Let's add in these guys, and now we need to add in Mark III belts in between as well. I like to do this from over the top here, just a little bit easier in my opinion. There we go. And that way everything's set up. Now this can actually and will produce 270 steel ingots. It also needs that much iron ore and coal, right? So next step will be we are going to get a foundry icon, or what I like to do, since I have set up the recipe already, right, is just get the steel ingot and label this steel ingots 270, and then we can just add in per minute here. Right, set directory. I have set up a couple of them, so this goes under smelting, and let's add in a subcategory for smelters. Well, no, actually, just a recipe set, right, and add that in here, apply the changes, close it, and now save the blueprint. We can clear the blueprint designer, grab all of our things, and now if we want to place it, we just go to our build menu, blueprints, and smelting steel ingots. Look at this. There's the whole shebang right there. Isn't that cool? And as you saw, I have started with some other blueprints. The foundations one, I just really like to have the 4x4s for concrete and for fix-it in 4 meter, 2 meter, 1 meter, all of those, right? And then I do have a concrete recipe set up, and this is basically 60 concrete per minute. And these are pretty much the things that we are going to need for our steel stage 2 setup. Alrighty guys, so I have started to set up steel stage 2. We are just going to add in a little bit more steel, right? And yeah, also we will produce some encased industrial beams. Alrighty, so we have this Mark I miner set to 50%. And then you have 2 Mark II miners on the normal node, which combine into 240. and that will give us a fully saturated Mark III belt of coal. And for the iron miner, I am just using a Mark II miner on the pure node that I have slightly overclocked, right? And as you can see, I am using the concrete foundations here because this is probably the first like big factory that I think we should make quite permanent, right? So we can make use of our lovely steel ingot blueprint though, right? Now is the time to use this. So let's find ourselves the input. It's this side, cool. And let's find an alignment that I feel like could work for us, right? So let's bring it all the way over and have a decent amount of space in between. Or actually, let's just align, yeah, the merger with the center of that foundation right there. And then we click, and yeah, I just love how this comes together. It's so cool, isn't it? Alright, so now we can bring in, right, our resources, and we can do this. Oh, it's doing its thing again, there we go. We can do this right on the side here if we so wish, right? That can work out fairly nicely, or we can do it in the back as well. However, I actually quite like to do it a little bit further away, right? With, oh, that's a ceiling mount. I meant to grab some stackable power poles, and yeah, because we do need a little bit of space to actually rearrange a couple of things here, right? So some of our steel ingots, we have 45 here, right? We are going to need 30 for the steel pipes, right? And the easiest way to deal with that, in my opinion, is to take away this merger here, right? Add in a splitter. We need all. Okay, we are going to need to be able to, yeah, take all three of the outputs. Default mode works. Okay, phew, that was lucky. Let's get rid of this for now. Okay, so some of which needs to go back, right? So what I like to do is add in one more merger at the end of the line, right there. There we go. So that is the 15 that will be left over, and we can just bring them around the machines, right? Don't need to overcomplicate this. Just bring it around, merge it back in, and then we need the other 30, right? So we are going to need a merger, basically. It is going to clip just a tad bit here, right? So 15 plus 15 equals the 30, all like so. And then we can bring in the stackable pole here. Yeah, that's fine, right? Perfect. And we can just bring this along this side now. And basically that just provides us... Dang it. with already having the outputs set up in a way that we kind of want to, right? There we go. All right. Awesome. So far so good, which means going to need our good old friend, the iron, and I think this is going to be fine right here. So let's try and find the same, there we go, or roughly the same spot for this. And if you add 1, 2, this one can just be normal. That should, yep, that connects perfectly to the lower one, right? Can connect that in, and this one should align itself up top, which it does. There we go, and that is the ingot side taken care of. Now, I would really like to add in a second story to this whole shebang, so let's grab ourselves some foundations, and this is just to outline how high we want to go, right? Maybe even 4 high. And then we don't have them unlocked, do we? No, I really want the glass floor. So for now, we are just going to use the P.E.A.C.E 1 meter foundation, and we align it like on the top of this one, right? So we have 4, 8, 15 meters of clearance. There we go. And that shall be our next floor, right? There. I think that's fine. And now, to make this a little bit quicker and easier for ourselves, we can just grab ourselves our blueprint, add it in. There we go. Look at that. Now we can go to blueprint mode. You can see. There we go. That's so cool, right? And I probably should, yeah, also... Oh, by the way, if you want to pick the blueprint, you have to go into delete mode. Press R to go into blueprint mode, right? Or standard if you just want to take those away. The blueprint, and then... There we go, we can pick the blueprint now. Amazing. Okay. Obviously, this always happens with awesome things. They just poke through on top, so that's a little fix here. So let's hook this up to power. And then also, like before we do though, we should also make sure, right, that our concrete is actually coming up here. So let's grab ourselves a concrete 60 blueprint, and as you can see, this nice output will align pretty neatly. So there we go. And we can now just bring this down, and with that click, there it is. Awesome, and this is set up already. Perfect. All we have to do is hook up power, bring in the resources, and I will bring you guys in once that happens and the factory has produced a little bit, so we can see it in action. Alrighty, so as you can see, the limestone is coming in, the iron is coming in at full speed, as well as the coal, and yep, this is working out beautifully down here, right? This splitting is just so important, so everything can be set up correctly, right? Now obviously this is a manifold setup, right, so this will take a little bit of time to warm up, but that's fine, right? And over here we see, yeah, this is load balanced, right, so the concrete is just flowing. Perfect. Alright, let's go up one story. There we go, we can see our steel beams, right? Both of the production lines get sent over to storage, as well as our encased industrial beams, and the first ones were produced. Awesome! We have an awesome sink here. And then the steel pipes will soon start up as well. So that is perfect. That is literally perfect. Oh, what happened? What's happening here? Ah, no, that's, yeah, we are currently using a little bit more than we are producing with our coal power plant, right? So these guys are jumping into action now, which is quite amazing, right? They will hold us over. But yeah, so we do have a pure a pure coal node and a normal one. So if you just use Mark II miners on both of those, that would mean 3 times 8. And if you overclock the normal node to 200%, you can have 4 times 8, I guess. Ooh. Okay, so that's 32 generators, right? Which means actually 16 blueprints and 16 water extractors. Do I have everything that I need for this lying around already? Let's have a look. A lot of reinforced iron plates. Yeah, that's fine. Lots of rotors. I think that is... we can absolutely do this. There we go, and we can do... whoopsie, we can do the other side later on. So, here we are, our power plant for the moment. I'm not sure how long this will hold us over, but we will see. We will see, right? So yeah, just literally mirrored it on both sides. We do have our walkway through the middle there, which I do quite enjoy. And yeah, I just decided to go for a manifold setup and then the same water extractor setup we've done before, right? So yeah, this is kind of a decent chunk of, of power in my eyes. Yeah, pretty decent for the point where we're at, right? We are basically at max speed for our belts, so we make the best out of what we have at the moment. And yeah, awesome. Now, I definitely do have to think about how I can adjust the looks of this in the future, maybe. But for now, I am quite happy. We do have our 2 service stairs if we ever need to work on the belts or the water extractors, right? So that has been set up. And yeah, I am absolutely loving this. Wow, if you take a look at it from this angle, you can really see, like, lots of symmetry happening, and that's fine, right? That is absolutely a-okay. Now, we could also do this and hide the connection from side to side here, right? I think that might look a little bit better. Do this. This can go now. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, I like that more. Absolutely. So, if you take a look, yeah, we just disconnected half of it, right? So, it is 2400 megawatts worth of power that we are producing at the moment, and we are almost... max consumption is almost at 1000, right? So it was definitely time to do a decently sized upgrade to our power grid in general. So I'm happy. I am really happy, and I think we've done a good job. Now, I will finish this off camera, of course. You don't have to sit through this, right? But yeah, honestly, that is a decent power plant, as I said, and I think I have achieved everything I wanted for today. I also think there is a hard drive scan. Well, yeah, that's one already, and we got iron wire and iron alloy ingot. That is not an ingot recipe I personally like a lot, but the iron wire recipe is actually incredible in certain spots, right? So yeah, I'm just not going to pick anything. I'll leave those in here, and that way they won't show up. And we definitely need to go out and grab more of the drop pods, and we also need to think about our Caterium, quartz, and also maybe sulfur. We haven't done anything with sulfur yet. There is some up here somewhere. So that is definitely also something that we should think about. But that's for next time. For today, that's all I have time for. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And as always, take care. Bye.